Mr. Vinny Appice.
I cheated on all those.
There's no count in there. So I had to wing it. Hello, everybody. I bet you're wondering what the hell happened. Well, so am I. Started the is that off? Started the video. Okay. So we started a video, and something happened earlier today with this thing that Facebook has. It's called stars. A window went up, and I must have hit OK. And when I started live, there's no comments in the corner because usually I have the video in the main screen, on the main screen, so I can see what I look like. Like I don't know what I look like. I like to see the video, but now I don't see the comments on the left side. So I freaked out. Oh, shit, nobody's watching. Nobody got on. I just stop. When in doubt, stop. It's better than doing the whole thing and not knowing if anybody's watching or it's not feeding or streaming. So I just stopped it and tried to look on Facebook to fix it, but we don't have time for that stuff, you know. All right, so anyway, trying to warm up a little bit here. So that's what happened. Sorry about that. And I have to get that removed. Stars removal. You know, they keep changing things on Facebook. Before a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, they started with a title was required. So even when I'm testing it, I had to put something in that box. So it's required. Now it's not required. And now the live icon somewhere else. It's not in the front, right in the front of the page. If anybody's looking for it, it's what's on your mind. Go in there. Then there's a little box on the right side. Click that, and then you'll see the video, the live video icon. So things get changed a little bit. So anyway, it's good to be here. Thank you for joining me. And I don't know who was first on because it was panic mode. So it doesn't matter. We got all our friends here, Charlie Paul and Heidi and AC and JC and all the dogs and Angelo and Jade, all my friends, my sister and Hillary. So it's really cool to do this. I love doing it, as I said before. And this week's sale is going to be this drum set. Not the one I'm particularly using, but the Command Series drum set. And it's on sale for $5 something. I meant to check that. So anyway, there's going to be a ad and some information popping up, so you can check it out. But it's like under $600 at $5 something, $579 or something, and it includes 4 toms. I only have 3 toms because I like the wall here. I like 2 floor toms, but I'm really doing a lot of recording here and this one streaming thing, so I don't really need 2 floor toms. And the other thing, when I play, I'll play when I'm recording. play like that. So what I do is I play a record, then I figure out, okay, let me listen to what I got. So when I listen, I like to lean back like this. You see, I'm leaning back, and this is a wall here. This is actually a door there. That's where I actually wanted to set the drums up, but I didn't want to lean on the door. Probably wind up falling through the door if it didn't hold. So I like leaning back and then playing the track to see where I'm at. So that's what I do. This way I'm not sitting like this all the time. But live, there's no wall behind me. Maybe sometimes, a rare moment at some club. And so live, obviously, you sit straight up. And that's why the seat's important, as we talked about last week. And they had the seat on sale. And so that was pretty cool. So this is going to be the set that's on sale. And this is, I'll tell you what it is real quick. Those of you who have heard me say this before, and some new people are here. This is poplar wood. This set's made out of poplar wood. And it sounds great. This is a 12, 13, and an 18. 24 by 14 bass drum. And the snare is just a 5-inch poplar wood. And this is all wrapped. It's wrapped. Great sounding kit. And I've used this for quite a while now, a couple of, about 3 years, maybe 4 years. And I've used it live with Last in Line, and it sounds great, and it holds up really well. And I use it here in the studio. And then I switch between this snare drum and the other snare drum, which is sitting there, which you've seen on prior shows, which is the Hickory 6-inch, more expensive snare drum. And that one sounds great. This one, I got it tuned. I got this one tuned because I was just recording with it. And I tuned it up higher, and on the stream when I checked it, it sounded a little light. So I detuned one lug to make it a little thicker, going off on the stream. And the problem with doing that is I didn't really finish the song, like halfway, not even halfway through the song. So now when I go back to recording, I have to match the snare drum tone. Very important. You can't just, change something or move a mic and then go back to recording and think it's going to sound like the same. So what I do, it's a cool trick. I'll solo the snare drum I use Cubase, and I'll hear the snare drum just playing, And then I'll try to tune to that note, whatever I hear. This drum's ringing. So I solo it, then I'll tune, then I'll try to play and just listen to the snare drum and see if it's in the right note, because otherwise it's going to sound funny. You get to the chorus and all of a sudden it's a different sound. So that's a little trick. And that song I played was a song from 1976 with the band I was with Rick Derringer, and it was a new band we put together. He put together, and it was myself, Danny Johnson on guitar, who was in the band with me called Axis before that, and then after that. That was a 3-piece rock band, heavy rock band, power trio. They call it Power Trio. And that song was called One-Eyed Jack, written by Danny. He sang on that. That was a cool song. And what I did, I didn't realize it, but on I did one of those backwards rolls. You know. Going up, like, I'm going up on it from low to high. So I didn't realize I did that in that song, because I did do it in a song called Beyond the Universe, if anybody's heard that. It's the first Derringer album, real fast like this. And there's a break in it, it'll go. It's hard to do now. I think back then my drums with toms were more over, but it's hard to get over here. Like I said, this is about a 17, 18-inch spread, so it's hard to get down to here, and it's really hard to go up. So that's why you would have to figure out sticking. See? If I do two rights, well, if I do singles, I ended with the left. Now I got to go up here on the right, right? I got to move my whole body almost to get up there. So what you do is you change the sticking. Instead of right, left, and then on the left, I do right, right, which is a paradiddle, ending on the right, so my left can go here. So that allows me to get up there real fast. You know, this way is not efficient. I call that efficient, you know. Same way I call it efficient to play with your wrists, not so much with your arms, you know. See, that's all wrist. I know this mic's picking up a lot of ambience. So it's efficient playing, you know, because you play with your arms, you're using a lot of energy. And it's hard to get fast with that. The wrist. So that's more of an efficient playing. And then when you want to get really loud, you could put your arms into it. But I never did one of those. You know, that kind of stuff. I just got more of the power from the wrist. So that's more of the efficient playing. So back to the drums. Anyway, so this Command Series, poplar wood, sounds really great. And you got 4 toms, bass drum, and snare drum for under $600. Check it out. Great drums. And also, I said I use these drums live, and I also use them in the studio. So here's a little bit of a sample of what that sounds like. This is just recorded. I just took a piece of something I'm recording. Not really any effects on it, maybe a little bit of verb, but check it out. Here's some rumbling in the beginning. Me there. Okay, so that's just a little sample, little snippet, whatever you want to call it. And you could hear the snare drums up, tuned up more. See, this is down a couple of notes, and that's up a couple of notes. So these drums record great. They sound really great recording. And then when you insert it into the track, they really kick out. They really stick out. Like that snare drum with the track will really pop because it's tuned higher. Usually I don't tune it that high, but for the song, you should tune the drums according to the song, just the way you would tune the drums according to what band you're in. If you're in Black Sabbath or a heavy band, big drum, big bass drum. Nice and big drums. And if you're in a real speed metal band, you don't want the bass drum probably this big. You probably want it more dead so you can do your speed metal. Okay, a couple of foot exercises there. That's actually a good exercise. I play one bass drum, one pedal. And speaking of pedals, this is a ChromaCast pedal. And it's ChromaCast hardware. That doesn't come with the drums, just so you know. Those are those little notes you see underneath it, right? So what I'm doing is just doing a triplet, right? Right, left, left, right, left, left. That's a triplet on the snare drum, right? That's the one I use a lot to warm up my left hand. And here, I'm just doing right foot, foot, right foot, foot. Like that. Fantastic exercise. Also, you have to do it steady. I'm Mr. Steady. You got to do it steady before you get fast. So start here if you're beginners. You get faster. It takes a while. So whenever it starts to get sloppy, you pull it back and you play it steady. And the other one, the other thing I played, I did the triplets. Then I did 16th notes, like right, right, left, right, right foot, foot, right, right foot, foot, like this. Keeping it all in tempo too, because you play things out of tempo, it sounds funny. It'd be like this. You want things in tempo. If you can't get that, what you do is you play with a metronome. And that applies to beats as well. Just a simple beat played steady sounds powerful. Like Sounds nice and powerful. And then also, to make your fills a little bit more powerful, do you see what I did? I just did fill like that. So if I do it without the bass drum, so what I'm going to do is just put 2 bass drums in like this. So, see? That's on the first group of notes, and the second group. So, right? And that sounds way powerful, way more powerful like this. Okay, so that's the power fill and the steadiness of the beats. And send in your questions. Lala's coming in a couple of minutes. She's got her own mic, and we're going to answer questions. And we're also going to go eat Mexican food because it's Taco Tuesday. And last week we said we're going to eat Mexican food, and we found a new place called Mexican Cafe. Wow, this looks great. We drive all the way down there. There it is, this big building. I was really happy. I thought, oh, should be good. And we really pulled up. There's all construction going on. They didn't finish it. It's still being built. So we got to keep that one in mind. So we went to another Mexican place. I love Mexican food. Crazy. I'm going to play a song. This was from Kill Devil Hill. This is a cool song. This is called... what's this called? You know what? I totally forgot what this is called. But it's Stewie Bragg on vocals, Mark Zavon Zavon on guitar, and Rex Brown from Pantera on bass, on growling bass. And this was I think it was from the first album. We only did 2 albums, so it's either from the first or second. I don't know. So let's see. I'm going to play it for you. Play to it. Okay. Here it comes. I promise. All right, that's called Old Man. Now I know. So that was Kill Devil Hill. Great. I love the heaviness of that band. It was a great band, and those guys fantastic to play with. Okay, so we're gonna have Lala coming in. What time is it? I don't know where she is. Maybe she went for Mexican food without me. How about a little bit of rock trivia? And this thing I found, which is really really cool and special, when I moved into this bigger room in my house for the studio and had all these boxes in the other rooms, in the closet, and had to take everything out because we were getting new carpeting. And this is hello Lala, and this is a Christmas card from Ronnie. I didn't know I even had this. And this says, "We wish you a metal Christmas and a rockin' New Year." Let me put it up to the camera. You can see it. Can you see it? Okay. And on the back it says Dio. And when you open it, Ronnie pops out. Isn't that cool? And the little handwriting, well, it says Ronnie James Dio, which is his signature. I know his signature anyway. Probably all of you do too, because he writes the same signature every time, unlike me, who doesn't. And then underneath it says, "To Vinny, Merry Christmas from Wendy, lots of love, and Ronnie." So Ronnie didn't write that. He didn't write lots of love. But that's it. Isn't that cool? So that's in my display case. I didn't even know I had it. Some cool stuff I found. Let me turn Lala's mic on. Lala. Yes, you is.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Woo!
All right. We had a couple of technical problems here today, but your mic is working.
Yay!
Okay. So we're going to take some questions here from you guys, and let's see what we got. There's always something good.
There's always something here. Do you steal your? I can't even talk. Do you still feel you are improving as a drummer?
Yes, because I'm playing a lot, and there's different types of playing. When all the years I spent on the road and recording with, say, Dio or Sabbath, you're always playing live, so you don't have a lot of time to practice. You practice during a sound check and things like that. But being home for a year and plus, what is it, going on a year and a half? No, about a year, 2 months. I can come in here and try different things. It's something I'm messing with, this thing. All different types of these open fills. So I get to sit here and try different things, There's no, okay, we got to leave. Okay, we got to go on. None of that stuff. So, and then I got my books over there. That's my old instruction books, Stick Control. What's the other one? Syncopation, All American Drummer, which is a marching drum book. And so I'll come in the morning and have some coffee and read, because the reading I haven't read in a long time. So this is bringing back reading skills, So I don't want to forget how to read. So I can't read books, like English books and stuff like that. But I can read music. Okay, next.
Are you going to work with Tony Iommi again?
Who's that?
That guy.
That guy with the Italian name.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to work with Tony Iommi again? Not that I know of. I don't know what Tony's doing. We stay in touch here and there, but there's nothing happening. So, that ain't happening. I'm working with Last in Line. We're finishing up a new song it's not a new song, but it's a cover song we're working on. So we're trying to get this thing out soon before everybody opens up all the music venues and stuff, which is coming, right? Everything's starting to open. This is really cool. I'm doing a show in Ohio, 2 shows, June 4th and 5th in the Cincinnati area. Then I got a show September 25th, and that's with my brother Carmine, and then last in line in October. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll stay open, and we're going to play. I don't know if I can play live anymore. Oh, my God. 90 minutes. Whoa. Okay. Next.
Are you ever going to put a camera on your foot?
You don't want to see my foot. You want to see my foot? Yeah, I'm going to do that. But I can't use this camera. See, then we get complicated. Believe it or not, this is a pretty good stream. It's just a webcam, right? You can see me, and I got the sound dialed in more. The 2-camera thing starts involving video equipment, like a switch, I know. And then you have to use like an OBS studio software. And you have to get cameras that are compatible with OBS. This is definitely not. The cameras have to have an HDMI plug at the end so you can go in. So I'm investigating that. But, man, a video is just like when they say, well, let's do a video and play to the song. I hate video. And I could edit it a little bit, but, man, 2 cameras and stuff. Or if you use a phone and this, it drives me crazy. But stay tuned. We'll upgrade everything. Okay.
To set the drum kit up from start to finish, what is a time frame?
I don't set them up. When I was young, I said, when I make it, I know I'll make it when I don't have to set up my own drums. That's what I used to say. I was probably 12, 13 years old. And then when I started getting professional, with first band was Derringer, Rick Derringer. And actually, Derringer and Weird Al Yankovic are going to be on the show on Thursday with Carmine and I. We do that Hanging and Banging, Artists on Lockdown. We're going to have to change the name, Artists Not on Lockdown anymore. So they're going to be on, Weird Al and Rick Derringer. And Rick Derringer was my first pro band. We had Road Crew. So, all right, I made it. Even though I was making, not very much money, but I didn't have to set my drums up. Here I'll set them up, but what the hell? I'm in my house. I can have coffee and an enchilada or something, while I'm setting up. There's no big thing. But see, I set up, usually, I sit on drums and they're not set up the way I like them. You can see my bass drums pointed at an angle. I've always played like that. And I've got 2 toms. I like the 2 toms to be pretty much in the center of the snare drum, and everything's low. I'm going to do a session at my friend's studio over the weekend. He's got a set there, so I don't have to bring any drums, but I know with the set, it's going to be set up like a regular, and I hate that, like how everybody else, not everybody, but the normal standard setup, bass drum facing that way straight, whereas your bass drum's playing, you're sitting there and your bass drum's facing straight and your pedal's straight, and I'm sitting here and my foot's turned a little, so it's on a different angle than the pedal. That's why I like this. This is the way my foot is pointing, And I can get full potential out of the pedal this way. My foot's right on it this way. So anyway, I got a weird setup, and now everything's low and close, so nobody ever gets it right except Road Crew or Mark Webber, the one-man road crew. Okay.
Do you have a set height you like to keep your arms to play faster as opposed to slower?
No, I just sit like this. I sit If I'm sitting here, the snare drum's about an inch above where my knees are. You can't really. If you're playing a slow song or playing slow things, and then you play fast, you can't really adjust anything while you're playing. So I just play in the same position. And I play with the rim shots. A lot of those are just rim shots on the snare. On the Sawtooth snare, it's the Command Series set. Check it out. There's a little ad going around there, and they're on sale. So every week there's a sale. So if you're looking for drum stuff, tune in every week, and you get, last week was a seat, we had sticks, we had cases, we had everything. Because Sawtooth and Chromacast, it's the same company, different names. They have everything, total drum setups and parts and sets and the whole thing. So, okay.
This one's from Angelo.
Angelo, that's Angelo, Holy Diver. Did you hum that while I played? That was the beginning, right? Like that thing. No, we won't play it like that. Although Greg Bissonette played on something with Pat Boone, and he did Holy Diver, and it was like that. That's pretty funny. Actually, it was quite good. Okay. And what did Angelo say? Angelo,
tell him how you used to get the drum riffs from riding the train when you were young.
Well, we grew up in New York, and we rode the trains a lot when we were supposed to be in school. Instead, we were riding the trains. And then, trains, you hear them go over the track. Or trains that we took, sometimes you'd hear this. Pulling into the station. But there were all sorts of train noises, and when you were in the tunnel, you had this reverb, there's actual rhythms. Not that sophisticated, but there were all sorts of kind of rhythms going on with the wheels going over the tracks, because the tracks weren't like the seamless bullet train tracks in Japan or anything like that. But we used to listen to it and go, yeah, listen to that. That's where John Bonham got this. That was on the N train. It went from Brooklyn over to England. So I think he must have rode it a lot, and he got that rhythm. But yeah, we did crazy stuff. So I was learning more in the trains with Angelo than going to school. Now, everybody watching, you young guys, you should go to school. It's a different world now. And I knew what I was going to go do with music, or try to do, but different world now. So go to school, and then don't listen to me or Angelo. Okay. Another question?
Are you excited for White Castle and Gold Star in June?
Who was that? Matt Carr?
Mike Carr.
Matt Carr. You hear that? Gold Star Chili and White Castle. You know what? When I get there, we got a day of rehearsal. So that's the day to go for both of those. Because show day, you don't really want to eat White Castle. So I'll tell you a story that Carmine told. I don't know if he told it when he was on the show, but they were up in the north there, probably Ohio or Detroit, when he was playing with Ozzy. And they're in a limo, and Ozzy's going, man, I'm really hungry. Well, he probably went, we're hungry. And Carmine went, hey, well, okay. Well, you ever have White Castle? No. So they stopped the limo at White Castle. They get out, and they're wearing a fur coat. Ozzy's got a fur coat. Carmine's got the purple hair. And they go into White Castle at, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. And they got some burgers and stuff. And Ozzy loved it. So the next day at the show, he had White Castle cater the whole backstage area. That must have been funny, right? Like hundreds of White Castle burgers. So, yes, I will indulge in a White Castle or two, and then Gold Star chili. I like Skyline chili too. It's cool they have chili places. I like chili. Okay,
Charlie says he's buying.
Charlie? Oh, Charlie's going to be there. My friend Charlie Trimble, he's coming to both shows. You're buying, Charlie. You don't know what you're getting into. Bring cash, too. Okay.
Do you record with the ride out front generally?
With the what?
With the ride out front generally?
You know what? Do I record with the ride out front? Well, I got two overheads here when I record, right? And they're picking up the cymbals. So mainly all these three cymbals. There's a hi-hat mic as well that picks up the hi-hat, which is, I find it miking underneath is a better way to go. And so I got an overhead, two overheads, left and right, and I can adjust the cymbals, you know. So I just play as normal. I don't put a mic on the ride. Some studios do, but I don't do that, you know. It's like, this is catching everything, you know. And I must say, I want to tell you a little trick, right? Because I was playing in here for a couple of months, and this is just a slab concrete floor with a thin rug, and it felt different than the other room, which had padding and then a rug. And I was like, wow, this is a little harder on your foot, you know, not as fast, you know. So I thought, let me put a scrap piece of carpeting under the bass drum and under the foot pedal, so it's got a little bit more give. And you know what? It worked wonders. Fast now. And it doesn't, it gives it a little bit more spring on the pedal, believe it or not. I never knew this until I did this. But I did notice when I put the pedal right on the carpeting that was here, this thin carpeting, it really, you know, you're hitting and it's just slamming into the pretty much the concrete floor. So I put just a little bit of a rug underneath, and it's really a world of difference. So if you're having any kind of issues like that, it's a good trick. All right.
What's your favorite moment with Jimmy Bain?
What's my favorite moment with Jimmy Bain? There's a lot of moments. One favorite moment was we were somewhere in the U.S., and I think Jimmy had some girl with him. She might have been a little bit on the younger side. I mean, she probably wasn't an adult age, maybe a little bit under, and he took her over. We happened to go across state lines. So I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden the police show up backstage, and they come in one room and they go, "We're looking for James Bain." What? He took a girl over state line. So some people, you know, roadies heard it and ran in the other room. Jimmy was in there and said, "Jimmy, the cops are looking for you." So, oh shit, let's get him out of here. So they opened up a wardrobe case, you know, big anvil case on wheels. Jimmy got in the case, and we closed the case, latched it, and rolled it right out, right almost in front of the police, and rolled them out on the truck. And that was it. Then we left town, of course, you know. After the gig, we always left. So there's many stories with Jimmy. Jimmy lived his life on the edge. He was a true rocker and partier. He's great. We all miss him. Okay. One more question?
When you do studio work, do you prefer hard rock, metal, or are you open to anything?
Right now, I'm just doing ballads and love songs. I'm in my blue mood. No, I'm kidding. Of course I like metal, hard rock. Heavy. I like heavy stuff. It's inspiring to play that for me. And rockin' stuff, you know, just rock. That's what I love. So, you know, some songs, you know, I've gotten songs in the past where I go, I don't like this one, but it's not my cup of tea. But I did it anyway, and then the next one was a cool song, heavy song. I went great. So that's it. We'll take one more question, but don't forget, check out the drums. They're on sale, ChromaCast. And Joe Fuco owns the joint, and his wife Tanya. And thanking them and Kevin. And then in the next week or so, there's going to be a video. It's going to not be live, but they're going to show it for the first time on godpsmusic.com. And I'm on drums. Rudy Sauza on bass, good friend. And Melody Christie from Liliac. She's a good friend now, too. So is the whole family. I love those guys. And then Michael Badio on guitar. And it's really cool. Just when you notice the video, I don't know why, but I look like I'm pissed off in it. I don't know what happened. I'm like, I'm playing. I'm like, I look at, what did I do that for? You know, should have went like, you know. I don't do that. Once in a blue moon. Nah, I should have did something, but I don't know. There were some issues with sound, so I was probably thinking of that. All right, so we're going to go eat Mexican food. It's Taco Tuesday. I want to thank everybody for showing up here, and I'll be back next week, too, without these problems. I got to get rid of the stars shenanigans thing here. And if anybody knows how to get rid of that stars thing, because it's really screwing me up. Because now the comments are in the middle, and I can't even see myself on the camera, so I don't know what's going on. Let me know. Send a message on here, Facebook Guru or something. Okay, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week, okay?